and I'll just mute myself and let you go.
All right. Hi, I'm Valerie Milano from the Hollywood Times. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Valerie. It's nice to meet you.
Thank you. You too. Are you here in LA? Or are you here for Outfest now?
I am. Yeah. I just got in a couple days ago and I'm here to the end of the fest.
Beautiful. And where are you from?
I'm from Texas, Austin, Texas.
Oh boy. Wow. Well, at least it's Austin. That's what we can say about it.
Yeah, and I mean, we get a lot of people from LA and Austin, so it seems like there's a lot of back and forth.
Good. Yeah. Texas. Well, we won't have to talk about that. Yeah, but we will talk about your film. Amazing. Wonderful. It's just so different,
Oh,
loving it.
thank you.
It has real heart, that's what I want to say. Yeah. What was inspiration for the story? It feels so personal. So does it come from a personal place for you?
I'd say there are, personal things in it in ways that I felt as a teenager growing up, especially as like a queer mixed Asian kid and in Texas, where there weren't a lot of other queer mixed Asian kids around me. I think a lot of those kind of experiences influenced the character of Twinkie. But in regards to like the actual events of the movie, none of that is true. I wish I got to go on a road trip with my best friend. Like that sounds amazing. But yeah, all of that is totally fictional.
Yeah, okay. It is a coming of age, and and coming of age and coming out are two life events common, to the LGBT experience. How hard was it to intertwine these experiences into your script? Because you did a masterful job of it.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I feel like coming of age and coming out, they often go hand in hand because coming of age is when you're figuring out who you are and how you identify. And in Twinkie's case, when the movie starts, she already knows that she's gay and she's accepted that about herself. But there's still so many other things about growing up that she hasn't figured out yet. So I thought that that was a really fun dynamic to play with is in her coming out scene, she's so sure of herself and being gay, but then as the rest of the movie unfolds, there's so many other things, mistakes that she's made and things she hasn't figured out. And I think that that's really exciting to explore.
Yeah, my daughter it came out, and it was a whole different way than Twinkie did. I loved it, her sitting at the table, and it was just so easy for her. I wish all kids could see it, that it can be that easy, you know. I just love the way you did that.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Egghead a minute. Egghead also learns about real love and real life, and his journey of discovery, of his finding his allyship, if you want to call it that, as it were, clearly is as important to the story as Twinkies, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. I feel like Egghead very much goes on his own journey because, the movie starts and Egghead has this very kind of naive idea of how things are going to go, which is that he has a crush on his best friend Twinkie. And so, of course, they're going to get together and they're going to date. And he has all these ideas, probably based off of like really cheesy rom-coms and things that he's watched and just, societal expectations and things. And then, he has the moment where he shows his love for Twinkie and he finds out that she's gay. And so that's completely something he was not expecting and not at all prepared for. So I think, Egghead's journey is, as you said, kind of discovering his allyship and figuring out how really to be a best friend to Twinkie as she's going through this really difficult experience of coming out to her parents and figuring all of that out. So I think for Egghead, it's kind of a process of discovery for him as well, which is like, how do I be a good friend to someone who is changing and is not the person that she was when I met her when we were 10, because they've grown and changed a lot and not always, growing in the same direction. They've grown into different people.
Yeah. And the inclusion of the animation along with the live action storytelling is a wonderfully playful touch that gives this film real heart. How did you come up with that touch?
I love animation. I love watching anime shows and animated movies, and I've always just been fascinated by it as an art form. I personally have no animation experience.
Oh, okay. Really?
But no, I don't know how to animate at all. So I came into this movie and I knew I wanted to have animation in it, but I needed to find the person that was going to help me do that. So I did a very Gen Z thing and I went on TikTok and posted a crew call, essentially, and a 60-second video where I described all the things we were looking for in an animator and kind of the timeline of the projects and things like that. And we had a ton of people submit. I went through them and I found Jie-A-Fa Los Angeles, who's our lead animator. And we worked remotely, Jill out of Cleveland and me out of Florida at the time, for 2 years working on the animation for the film. Yeah, it was a really rewarding collaborative experience.
Yeah, it's so different. Just I love that piece of it for sure. In the end, everyone shows growth, even the angry father. But is this a reflection, do you feel, of real life, or a hopeful twist of happily ever after, maybe?
Yeah, I'm glad you bring that up because even though Egghead and Twinkie is, I would say, a more positive and hopeful film, I think for me, I didn't want to wrap up all of the loose ends, like with the parents, for example. So it ends on a hopeful note, like Twinkie's hopeful about the future, but we don't know everything. Like it's going to be a process with her parents. There's still things that she hasn't figured out by the end of the film. I don't want to spoil too much, but like there are several things that are uncertain with Egghead going away to college and things like that. So I feel like that's a reflection of real life, is that things can be hopeful and you can have an optimistic outlook, but there's still so many things that you can't control and things that will be hard, and the loose ends will be there.
Well, so we're going to be looking at the 21st, right? That's when it's going to be playing, and
Yes.
it's a couple days away, and we're going to be doing our reporting and getting some people out there, and we'll send you a link to the piece. Are you working on anything else? What are you thinking about?
I am currently working on a second feature script, so that's in the very early stages of development. And I'm also hoping to maybe direct another short, just because after doing the feature and shooting for 40 days, I would love to shoot something in like 3 days. That
I
sounds
bet, yeah.
so.
Sure. And how can our readers, our viewers, find you and your projects?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm on Instagram at Holland Films, and Egghead and Twinkie is on everything at Egghead Twinkie Film.
Beautiful. Okay, well, we're the Hollywood Times today. So keep us in mind, and we have our YouTube channel, the Hollywood Times Official, and look forward to seeing around the DGA or the Red Cat, or somewhere that Outfest is, and all the parties and fun stuff. So yay, Sarah, thank you for all your time.
Absolutely.
And cool. Yay.
Thanks so much,
Fun
Valerie.
out here in LA.
It's really nice to meet you.
And you too. Thanks so much again. All
Thanks,
right.
Valerie.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks, Justin. Bye-bye, guys.